What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Inside the Five. I'm Griff.
And I'm well.
And on this episode, we have no Stav out 4 to 6 weeks with ruptured patella tendon. Well, anything to add on to that?
It's unfortunate, we hate to see the man go down. Hopefully he has a speedy recovery and he'll be back soon.
Yeah,
Nothing but the best.
yeah. No, he'll be back next week, though. We're going to be covering all things in the NFL regarding Week 8. We got our locks of the week. We have all of Stav's picks also in this episode for him. So what do we say, Will?
Let's do it.
All right, guys, welcome back. Week 8 of the NFL. We're getting things kicked off strong here. Thursday night football. Will, 8:15 tonight at the night of this recording. We got the Ravens and we got the Bucks. The spread is set at 2 points in favor of the home team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, over under at 46. Will, what do you like?
All right, so first things first. Decent slate for Thursday night football. We like to see it. Thursday night has been rough all year long.
Mm-hmm.
The Bucks on the other side of this slate kind of brings it down. It brings it down a lot, to be honest. But it's Lamar Jackson on prime time against Tom Brady, so that's fine. I'm going to take the Bucks here. My bad. I'm going to take the Ravens here +2, and I'm going to take the under. And the under at 46, it's about, I would say, average for these two teams, but the Bucks aren't scoring a lot of points. They're passing the ball a lot. They're doing a lot of things, but they're not getting in the end zone. The Ravens, on the other hand, will be getting in the end zone, but I don't think the Bucks are going to get enough points to cash that over. So I'm going to take the Ravens plus the points and the under.
Nice. I'm riding with you too, and so is Stav and his picks. Stav actually didn't put his over under, so I think in this episode I'm gonna pick all the over unders for him.
I like that. We should pick his over under.
Just not based on what we want to take for him, based on what we think he would take, and I think he would take the under here.
I think
because
so.
we're all taking it. I feel like this is one where we would all take it.
Plus, it's Thursday night. Thursday night under is like a go.
Yeah, and like it's two teams that like last year would have easily hit this over mark, and just because it's this year, neither of these teams are actually performing well. But I do, in the long run, think the Ravens are going to pull out a win here. Both defenses are very good. That's why I love the under as well. We're all going to go with the Ravens +2 and the under here. Going on to the Sunday slate of games starting at 9:30 a.m. We got a London game. We got the Broncos taking on the home team, Jacksonville, London Jaguars. Russell Wilson was doing high knees the whole way to London. That was the corniest thing I've ever seen. It's like every single time he does something, the next thing he does is the new corniest thing I've ever seen in my life. And for that exact reason, I'm going Jacksonville -2.5, which is the spread. The over-under set at 39.5. I'm going to go the over. I think Jacksonville puts up a lot of points here. This is the one home game they get a year, Will.
I'm going to take Jacksonville here -2.5. This is a home game. This is what they wait for every single year. They love London. Obviously they didn't play in London during the COVID season. Now they're back in London. They're excited. Yep. They're not even playing at the Spurs Stadium. They're playing at their real home at Wembley. So like this is literally just a home game for them. And I am going to take the over. I think this is going to be a high scoring game.
Yes, I agree. I think that we haven't seen a big. Have we seen an over hit in London? I think the last game it may have. Yeah, it did.
The last game it did.
Giants and the Packers definitely hit, but that first game was nothing short of horrific. So you got to root fast grass over at Wembley. Champions League final there next year. So they're getting the grass ready over at Wembley Stadium. I think the over is a good time to hit here. Moving on to the next game. We're now on to the 1 o'clock slate. By the way, Stav took Denver +2.5. I also think Stav would take the under in a game like this.
Yes, I think he would go under too.
Okay, fair. So Stav, Denver +2.5. So he's going against us, and he's also going against us with the under. Going on to the next game, we have the Falcons, the Panthers versus the Falcons. A little NFC South matchup. Atlanta favored by 4 points. The over/under set at 41. Will?
All right, so I really, really like the Panthers here, +4. And I'm also gonna take I'll take the over. I'll take the over at 41. Um, Panthers, honestly, with their kinda double-headed storm at running back, I know right now it's Donta Foreman is gonna be the lead back, but I still think Chuba's gonna get in there and put in some work. I kinda like the way they're playing, like, their offensive style. I mean, they did play against the Buccaneers. They only let them score 3 points, and they put up, I think, like 20, 17,
Mhm.
maybe? Sounds about right. I mean, that's a good amount. I think they could do more against this Atlanta Falcons team. Obviously,
Okay.
divisional matchup, but I feel like the Panthers have a good way to score, and I think they're gonna get the job done.
Yeah. In the over/under?
I got over 41.
Over. Okay. So I'm joining you with the over at 41. I'm gonna be taking Atlanta -4 though. It's been a team I've been rooting for some reason the whole year. Mercedes-Benz Stadium. They're playing at home. Um, I mean, this game kind of sucks in my opinion, but I think this might be one of those like games that we look at as even if it's a good game, we're still not going to talk about it that much. And I think it could be a pretty decent game, but this is one of these midseason games that gets kind of forgotten. I'm going to take Atlanta -4. Stav's going to be
Mhm.
riding me Atlanta's -4. I'm taking the over, and I think Stav would take the over as well. Thoughts?
Yeah, I think Stout would go the over here.
All right. So moving on to the next game, we got the Bears versus the Cowboys in Dallas. Dallas favored by 9.5. The over/under set at 42.5. I think the Cowboys are going to win this game. I do not think the Cowboys are going to win this game by 10 or more
Mhm.
points. I'm going with the Bears. The Bears had an impressive win, a very impressive win on Monday Night Football last week. Dallas, second week with Dak back. He's still getting into it. And for that exact reason, I'm also going to be taking the under. I think, if any chance, even though the Bears just traded away Robert Quinn, I think that defense is still good enough to hold them or to hold this Cowboys offense. Justin Fields just needs to do enough on the ground. I think 10 points is a lot of points. I think it may be easy to cover. I'm going to go Bears plus 9.5. I'm going to go with the under set at 42.5. Well,
All right. Um, I think I'm gonna ride here with Stav with the Cowboys -9.5. Now I know the Bears put up a great week against the Patriots, but this team hasn't been like a team that can be consistent through multiple weeks at kind of a high level. They played pretty well against the Patriots. Like they were executing on all ends, and I feel like for the Patriots, that was a game where they kind of went in with the bad mentality, and the Bears. That's a perfect game for the Bears to kind of just like eat that up and take a win. Now the
yep.
Cowboys are looking here for a big, big win. I know it's against the Bears. This should be an easy win for them. They need to win this game. I feel like they're going to be able to put this away. So I got them -9.5, and I'm going to take the over at 42.5.
And you said you're riding with Stav. Obviously, Stav is taking the Cowboys as
Mhm.
well. The over under will. What do you think he would take?
Hmm. See, if he has the Cowboys -9.5, like logically here, I feel like he would have to pick the over if they're
You'd
winning
have
by
to,
10
right?
points.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that logic. Let's say he's going with the over here. You like that?
Hmm. Yeah, that was my logic behind picking the over. I feel like that just would make sense.
All right, all right. Yeah, I like that a lot too. Moving on to the next game, we got the Dolphins taking on the Detroit Lions at Ford
Mhm.
Field. The 4-3 Dolphins favored only 3.5 points against the 1-5 Lions. For that exact reason, I am taking Miami. Second week back of Tua, he should be good to go. He probably still doesn't know where he is, but neither does Jared Goff. He's the worst starting quarterback in the NFL. Over under set at 51.5. Will.
Quite
I'm
high
gonna
for
take
this
the under.
game.
I'm gonna take the under. I think it's a or a high over under. Scary numbers right there. Will, what do you think?
Very scary numbers. I like Miami -3.5. I don't really like the Lions right now. I mean, obviously, Jared Goff is not playing well. That team isn't really playing well altogether. They've had some rough weeks. Obviously, second week of Tua, like you said, I feel like this is a good win for the Dolphins to kind of take here. And that over under is quite high at 51.5. I understand that the Lions put up a lot of points, but the Dolphins don't put up that many points. So, like, that's like a lot of weight to carry for both of those teams to get up to 51. For that reason, I'm going to go the under.
I like it. Stav is going to be going with Miami as well. I feel like, I mean, I don't know.
I think he would
They
go.
gotta figure it back out at some point.
I feel like he's got to go the under.
Yeah, no, he's definitely taking. I feel like it's just so many points. We're gonna take the under for him as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right, keep it moving on. We got a little NFC North versus NFC West matchup. At home, the Minnesota Vikings are only favored 3.5 points against the Arizona Cardinals. The over/under at 49 will get us kicked off with this game.
So starting off, I have the Vikings as my lock of the week at -3.5, and I'm going to take the over in this game. Big reason. One, the Vikings are good. Two,
Yep.
Call of Duty comes out this weekend. Now that I feel like that's worse than a double XP weekend in my opinion. Like double XP weekend, like Kyler will still do kind of his thing, but just at a lesser rate. I feel like he's just not even going to show up. Like he's going to
Yeah.
stay up Saturday night. He's going to be grinding.
Yep.
He's not even going to be thinking. And then Sunday morning, he's going to wake up. He's like, "Oh, I got a tough Vikings
He's gonna have
team
all
to play."
his SMGs gold though by the time
I mean,
kickoff.
like he'll be like almost master prestige by the time that game against the Vikings comes up. But no chance. Vikings -3.5 and the over.
All right, I'm gonna ride with you there. I think that Stav is also riding with you there. He has Minnesota. We all have Minnesota. I think that this is a perfect time for Minnesota to come out and show why they're 5-1 right now, coming off a bye week, going up against, I mean, an underperforming Cardinals team that just got DeAndre Hopkins back. I think the Vikings are out to prove something. They're on pace, obviously, to win the NFC North with the Packers falling behind. And this is just, I mean, kind of a perfect setup for them because this is a team where they could beat them and people were like, yeah, that's right. The Vikings are legit. But if they lose to them, it would be a very big, no on their record book. It wouldn't look good at all. So I think the Vikings, this is almost a must-win game for them, Will.
I agree, especially at this point of the season. This is a big win if they can get it off.
Yep, exactly. Going on to the next game, though, Will, this is a game we haven't seen in 4 years between the Raiders and the Saints. I actually, I was looking at this game, and I was like, I don't remember a single time that the Raiders played the Saints.
This is a good jersey matchup, like color scheme wise.
It is.
Like it's nice. The field's gonna look nice.
But I've never seen these two teams play a game ever. I don't can you remember a time that the Raiders played the Saints?
I don't. It definitely hasn't been like in my mind when I think of like Saints games, I think of like that crazy game against the Giants where Drew Brees just like aired it out every single play.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the one game that just, and like against the Vikings, obviously in the playoffs. But, like I don't think about the Raiders against the Saints like ever.
No, that's exactly what I'm saying. And this is a bit of a tough game to pick, in my opinion. A 2-4 team against a 2-5 team. But I'm gonna go with the Raiders, even though they're away. The spread set at 1.5 in favor of Las Vegas. The over/under set at 49. Will, and I'm gonna take the under. I think that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was just looking at this game. It looked disgusting. It didn't make sense to me because I was like, when have these teams ever played each other? So I'm going to take the under. I think it's going to be an ugly game.
Honestly, that's going to make us all three of us. I mean, I got the Raiders -1.5. Stav's got the Raiders -1.5. I'm going to take the under here, too. This, like you said, this looks like a very ugly game. I mean, obviously, Saints haven't been playing that well. The Raiders are actually not bad. They're kind of putting things together. Their offense is putting things together. So I just don't think it's enough for the over. What's the over at 49? I just don't think the Saints are going to score a lot of points. Like this game kind of reminds me of like a 21-10 kind of
vibe. I like that number, or like maybe like a 24-7. Like this might be Devontae Adams gets in the end zone, Josh Jacobs gets in there twice, and they kick a field goal, and then maybe Alvin Kamara like finally finds his way into the end zone.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to put my player prop on this game. I got Darren Waller in the end zone this week, coming back off of an hamstring injury.
Wow,
if he's playing.
You could get good odds there. Well, I like that as a pick. And if we're going to talk about our anytime touchdown prop, how about we go on to the next game? And how about a little double doozy here, Will, for me? My anytime touchdown prop and my lock of the week in the same game. And it's going to start with the lock of the week. I got the Jets +2.5 against the New England Patriots. I think this is the first time I've ever taken a lock of the week against the Pats, but the 5-2 Jets at home are an underdog. So I mean, it's about time they show off a little bit. Mac Jones is starting week 8. He didn't really get a chance in week 7, and I think he's going to turn into a Ben Simmons. I think whenever anything like that happens to somebody, like when you get replaced for no reason, like Mitch Trubisky, like I think that you're just automatically not going to be good for the rest of your career. And I believe in Mac, but you really can't battle back from that, and you definitely cannot battle back from that the week after when you're playing a 5-2 team on the road, and the 5-2 team is the home underdog. So I'm going to take the Jets. I think the Jets put up at least 40 points by themselves.
I mean,
I'm taking the over. I'm taking the over, and my anytime touchdown player prop, Michael Carter.
wow.
Just got James Robinson. This is Michael Carter's backfield. James Robinson has to immerse himself into this backfield before he earns any reps over Michael Carter. Michael Carter has something to prove this week because they should have trusted him after Breece Hall tore his ACL. They didn't. They went out. They got a new running back. Michael Carter's out with something to prove, the second-year guy from UNC. And anytime touchdown, Jets, lock of the week. Lock it in. It makes too much sense.
I mean, I like it. I'm also taking the Jets plus 2.5. Now, here is where my thinking, shout out the juice. This is where my thought process came in. I was like, okay, Jets plus 2.5. Obviously, home underdog. I'm also going to take the over here. This is going to be a high-scoring game, I believe. Obviously, like we said, Mac Jones coming back after what just happened. That's kind of crazy. I don't know how I feel about that. But the Pats' defense, on the other hand, against Zach Wilson is usually very, very good. So I'm thinking the Pats are going to come out with a win here, but the Jets are going to cover. The Jets are going to win.
It's going to be a very close one?
It's going to be a very, very close one. And I think the Pats are going to sneak out a win late, and the Jets are still going to cover, and the over is going to hit. That's my thought process.
All right. And Will Stav is not going to be joining you. I thought he was. He's also taking Jets plus 2.5. Interesting pick from Stav. I think Stav would take the over in this game.
Yes, I think the over. So we all have Jets plus 2.5.
Oh, I thought you took the Patriots. I'm sorry.
No, I had the Patriots just winning outright, but I have.
Oh yeah, you have them winning Jets cover. Yeah, okay.
Jets cover.
There's confusing. When you're a home dog and you're 5-2, I'm gonna stay confused throughout the whole time. Like,
yeah,
I still just think it makes no sense. Moving on to the next game, we got a couple of teams from actually both from Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah.
A Pennsylvania matchup. We got the Steelers, we got the Eagles. Eagles coming off a bye are favored by 11 points at Lincoln Financial. Over under set at 43. I'm excited about this game, so I'm going to get us kicked off. I think the Eagles smash the minus 11. I would like to take them minus 15, minus 20. I think that they absolutely murder the Steelers. It's an in-state rivalry. The over-under set at 43. I think that the Eagles are scoring 45 points by themselves. I'm taking the over.
Oh, I mean, I'm right there with you. I have the Eagles minus 11 and the over. I would take the Eagles minus however many you could add more points to that, and I think I would still take them. I don't know. This is what, in my opinion, this isn't a big win for the Eagles if they win. This is like a momentum win. Like,
it's one of those wins where they have to blow them out.
Yes, like this is going to be like, this is that week where everyone's like, okay, this is where we're going to see the real players come to play. Like, this is where the teams we're going to see be good in the playoffs, be good, possibly make a Super Bowl run. This is the week that we're going to kind of see. We're not really at the midpoint, but what we're getting there. And if the Eagles blow out the Steelers, everyone's going to be like, wow, oh my God, this Eagles team is crazy good. The Eagles tape begins.
Yes.
So I got that
minus 11 championship DVD.
And over. Yep.
Nice. And Stav taking Pittsburgh plus 11. That means he's got to be taking the under due to our logic. Stav doesn't believe in the Eagles like we do.
No.
I mean, he doesn't. I bet he doesn't think they're winning the championship. Do you think they're winning the Super Bowl?
I want to say yes, but like for some reason, I like this such a bold pick. But like low key, I think that division is going to win a Super Bowl this year.
The Giants?
I mean, like
the Cowboys.
I think the Cowboys could do it.
I think the Giants have a real test this week. We'll talk about it.
The Giants have a test, but I think it's either going to be the Eagles or the Cowboys making it to the Super Bowl.
Out of the NFC. Wow. Okay. Well, there's Will's pick. Just completely threw the Giants back under the bridge. You could have stuck with the
Yeah,
NFC East.
I
Like
could have stuck with the NFC, but I don't
that.
know. The Giants can be scared sometimes.
That adds another chance for you. Like that's 3 teams. You could have just kept it at that. You narrowed it down.
Yeah, I like narrowing it down. That's like like that's the two teams out of the NFC that I've been thinking of.
All right. All right. I like that from you from the East. Moving on, we have what week is it? Will it's week 8.
Week 8. Oh, my
We
bad. I
have
said week 7, but week 8.
yeah, but week 8. But I think these teams have played each other 7 out of the 8 weeks. We
No,
got the
I swear
Titans
to God.
against the Texans. Tennessee favored by 2.5. Over under set at 40.5. I'm gonna take the Titans. I'm gonna take the over. I don't know. I don't really want to talk about this game, Will.
I don't either. This is like even though it 2.5 is the spread, this is basically a pick 'em. The Titans I think are the worst 4-2 team now. 5 and no, yeah,
4
4
and
and
2.
2
4 and 2.
4-2 team in the league. Um, I don't really know what's going on with this game. I'm gonna take the under. Like it's only 40.5, but like these teams just can't find the end zone. Like this is just
Okay.
I hate this game.
Yeah, I
Honestly,
don't. I don't either. Stav
yeah,
Stav is taking. What's he even taking? Stav's taking the
Tennessee.
Titans minus 2.5. Moving on to the next game, we got the Commanders taking on the Colts. This is a big inter-conference week.
Yeah,
Conferences are colliding right now. AFC versus NFC. And in this battle, Will, I think I'm going to stick with the AFC. I'm going Colts minus 3 against the Commanders. The over under set at 39.5. I'm still going to take the under.
I'm going Colts minus 3 and the over. Sam Ellinger is here to stay. He's gonna
Sam
prove
Ellinger,
something
yeah,
else.
he's goaded.
I'm honestly I don't know what in my mind. I just think Sam Ellinger is gonna have like a great day. He's gonna go off, and people will be like, "Wow, he's actually pretty good." He
No,
could prove it.
I think Sam Ellinger's good.
Yeah, no, I do too. I like it's just funny because like I didn't expect him to play at all this year.
Yeah,
Like with them
or
having
ever.
Matt Ryan. Yeah, like that's like very unexpected. But like I think like he's just gonna Sunday is gonna be a magical day for him.
I like that. I like that. Stav, once again, not agreeing with us. He's going Washington plus 3. Let's throw Stav with the over.
I like that. I like that.
Okay. Moving on to the next game of the week, in my opinion, except I think the real America's game of the week is 49ers Rams, which we'll talk about right after this. But the Giants taking on the Seattle Seahawks, the 6-1 Giants going on the road to Lumen Field. Seattle favored by 3 points. The over-under set at 45.5. I'm taking the Seattle Seahawks. I think the Seattle Seahawks are a legit team right now. I mean, the offense is flying around. The defense has looked as good as it's ever been this season last week against the Chargers, who are a tough offense. The Giants at 6-1. I mean, they look good, but it's really been a tale of what they do in the fourth quarter. The Seahawks in the fourth quarter have been magnificent on defense. I'm going Seattle to improve to 5-3. I think Seattle wins this game by a touchdown, and I really, really like the over. I think both of these offenses score a lot of points.
So I'm also gonna take Seattle. I feel like if I pick the Giants, that would just completely offset what I was talking about with my Super
With
Bowl
Super Bowl.
prediction. So I gotta ride Seattle here, but not just for that reason, because that's just like a gimmick reason. This is because Seattle's better. I think this is a
You're not for
test
the
game.
gimmicks.
No, this is a test game for the Giants. They have a great record. This is a test game because Seattle's a team that you can't mess around with. They're very good. They're out here. They're playing good football. So I have Seattle minus 3, and I like the over. This is all. I feel like we're going to see a high scoring week. This is going to be a great week of football. Not that it already isn't every week, but like it's going to be better than usual.
This is gonna. I mean, week eight's a make or break it week. You know. A lot
Yeah,
of teams are out to prove something, and a lot of points are going to be scored. Stav is going to be taking the Giants in this game, going up against us. I think Stav would still like the over in this game.
100%, 100%.
All right, moving on. We got a few games left here. Bit of a quick episode. We got the 49ers and the Rams at SoFi Stadium. San Francisco, however, half a game back on the Rams, are favored as an away dog by 1.5 points. Kind of a pick 'em. The over-under set at 42.5. Will, I like the 49ers in this game, and I like the over in this game as well. I think that maybe Matthew Stafford scores or throws 2 touchdowns. Jimmy G gets the job done himself, and I think that this could be like a 35 to 17 game.
I like that. I'm gonna ride with you here on the 49ers -1.5. I mean, Christian McCaffrey, full week of practice. I know I said that the 49ers might not be that good, but they're still gonna be good. I like them. The Rams honestly suck, in my opinion. They're actually terrible. They can't do anything. I don't
Yes.
like 42.5. Like, if I saw these 2 teams last year, I'd be like, "Oh my god, over." I'm kinda scared of the over. I like the under. And I think the 49ers are gonna be able to put up points, but the Rams just scare me. I feel like, especially against the 49ers defense, who's pretty good, I feel like Matthew Stafford's bound for, 2 picks.
Okay. I think that Stafford sucks, but like Cooper Cup, there's a lot of people on that offense that can get in the end zone. So I think just with the fact that the Niners, I think, will put up a lot of points with a full week of McCaffrey there and Debo, who had a bad week. I feel like Debo never has 2 bad weeks in a row. So he's bound for greatness. Thank God he had a bad week last week, Will, because we're going up against each other in fantasy, by the way.
Big matchup.
It's a big matchup. I don't have Herbert. He doesn't have Eckler. I also don't have my defense. But I'm not using that as any excuse. This is a big week. This is a real make or break week in that fantasy league. Will.
It really is. This is honestly the next last week, this week, and next week is like my gauntlet. Like
Yeah, I had a
I play like the
scheduled
best teams in
loss
our league.
last week. I had so many people injured and so many people on buys. But the squad next week is going to be my first week of my full squad in 3 weeks. It's going to be a great feeling.
Yeah, I'm gonna full squad this week too. We upgraded at the QB position. He's been on the bench all year, but he's earned his spot. Somehow always the friggin' Giants, but it's Daniel Jones.
Yep, which makes absolutely no sense. But moving on to Sunday Night Football, we got the Packers, the quarterback that you replaced in fantasy, and the Bills. The Bills, coming off a bye, are favored by 11.5 points, and that's a ton of points to go up
That's
with Aaron Rodgers.
hilarious.
And you know what? I thought about I teased around taking the Bills, but I have to go the Packers. And I'm gonna take the over as well. I think that there's got to be some point where Aaron Rodgers throws for 4 or 5 touchdowns.
I want to agree with you, but for my sake in fantasy, I'm gonna have to take the Bills -11.5. This is an Aaron Rodgers frustration game. He's gonna be crying after the game. He's gonna be complaining. It's gonna be ugly. I think if they lose this game, I think they're gonna lose this game regardless. In my opinion, the Bills are winning, but it's gonna be in the game total. This is gonna be an ugly, ugly, ugly game. The Bills are going to rout them. I genuinely think that, and I'm going to take them -11.5
And the over?
and the over.
All right, Stav taking Green Bay plus 11.5. I think Stav would take the under in this game at 47.5.
I feel like that's fair.
Fair. Okay. Moving on to our last game, we'll get it off with Stav's pick. The Bengals and the Browns. Stav's lock of the week. The Cincinnati Bengals -3.5. I'm guessing Stav's going to take the over as well, Will. I'm going to ride him this whole way. I think I'm going to take the over. I'm going to take Bengals -3.5. Everybody's taking it for Monday Night Football. I think that this is going to be a very good game between Jacoby Brissett and Joe Burrow. I know I'm being so serious.
No, I know. It's just funny.
Is this a battle of Ohio?
Yeah. Wow. We have battles this week.
Yeah, an AFC North matchup. I feel bad. The Bengals have been playing in the AFC North for a few weeks in a row now, and the AFC North is so difficult to play in. You get beat up. You need to play an AFC North team. There should be a rule. If you play an AFC North team, the next week you have to either play an AFC South, an NFC North, or a NFC South team.
Or have a bye.
Or go to London.
Something have fun
the next
week.
Good.
Yeah,
because
like I swear, like even though like thinking about it, like the Steelers like aren't like a great team this year, but like looking at the schedule, and you see the Steelers, you're like I don't want to play the Steelers.
every single time the Steelers play against an AFC North team, they put up a fight and they
I know
will be physical.
it's always there's injury, like everything. I swear to like everything that happens in the AFC North battle is like injuries. There's like blood. There's like
Yeah,
it,
bad things happen.
yeah, like you you don't want to see that, especially like they always have like a crazy like last week of the season game for like the playoffs, and it's a bloodbath every single year.
Yeah, yeah, and like it's always like two teams. It depends on how it goes every season. It's like if both teams are both fighting for a playoff spot, one team will make it, but they will lose in the wild card because like three of their best players got injured
Yeah,
because they.
they're down like two wide receivers.
Yeah, yeah,
They're like backup running back, like four O linemen. Like they're just down like the whole team.
yeah. So a couple teams on a bye this week. Two AFC West teams actually. The Chargers and the Chiefs. The Chargers need it.
They need a
Need a
break
bye.
bad, bad.
In the worst way. So many injuries, and we saw a lot of people go down last week as well.
Mhm.
Quick look at the lock of the week. Will, you are on top by one game at 4-2. Me and Stav both at 3-3. This is a big week. Will, you have the Vikings -3.5, correct?
Yep.
Stav has the Bengals -3.5. I'm taking the Jets +2.5 over the New England Patriots. That's going to be about it for this episode. A bit of a
I
quick
also wanted to
episode.
say, I took both of the aggressive spreads this week.
The the
The
the
Eagles
Bills,
and the Bills.
the Eagles and the Bills. Yeah, I took the Eagles, but I did take the Packers.
Those are some crazy spreads. That's wild.
Yeah, no, big spreads. It's going to be a great week of NFL action, but that's going to be about it. We hope you guys enjoyed. We hope you guys enjoy this weekend. We will catch you guys on Wednesday, and peace.
Peace.